a lot of the Cold War era, like atomic testing in this country, and what we've done to people through that. When I moved to West Virginia, I met this guy whose father was one of the soldiers in Operation Dominic, and that's a lot of these nuclear tests that happened, where they wanted soldiers to watch the nuclear bombs explode and just see what would happen. I think we have some footage of some of that we can pull up.
Yeah.
The Dominic one is interesting. Operation Fishbowl was also a part of that, where they were just bombing the atmosphere. And some people will say, hey, maybe they were trying to shatter the firmament. I might be one of those people. But whatever they were doing, they did it a lot, as was the Soviets were as well at the same time.
So if you're cool with it here, I want to lead with what today has been my favorite video that Shane has ever sent me. I am going to give you guys a cow caught in what is a supposed underground nuclear test. Let's watch. Moo added for dramatic effect.
As well as like the reverse symbol.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that the last time.
Yeah.
So for those just listening, we were looking at a field. We should watch it again.
I want to watch it again. I want to watch it for the rest of the night. Let's just do this. No callers tonight. Sorry, we're just going to play a nuclear cow all night.
Germans have figured out a way to increase...
They got me.
The Germans have figured out a way to bomb your cows.
Germans got us again.
What are they doing? Man, this is like the Lockheed Martin commercial from yesterday.
That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah. I actually... Okay, this commercial got me.
Yes, dude. Hang on, this is wrong. They moved us on. All right.
So for those listening, it's a cow in a field. I think and there's another cow laying down, and
he doesn't seem to be fazed by this. So this is. I want you to keep your eye on the second cow here, as comedic as the first cow is over here to the left, and see if this cow looks daunted at all by what happens here. Because I didn't see him move. Maybe it's just me. Let's watch again. Okay, he looks like he's getting up. All right, maybe. He's trying to get to his feet, maybe.
He's definitely startled, but right back
Okay, he
down.
got a little bounced. He got
bounced. But that main cow is just floating through the dust from the explosion in the distance.
Like,
you can only imagine how many other videos there are out there.
The dust rustle from this is pretty intense. Like, you can kind of see the difference here. Just completely calm into absolute chaos.
Oh, man. Yeah, this video is so wild.
The moo is obviously not real. There's no way.
I don't know, dude. What if the bomb sounds like a reverse symbol? Now I'm questioning the reality of this. Is this just our propaganda, our bomb propaganda to scare the Soviets?
This is like I was telling you too before we started the show tonight, as I was like, this still has me on this kind of like almost like the Bigfoot thing where like there's just a camera perfectly placed, animal perfectly dead center right in the shot, and then some ridiculous thing happens with a perfect sound effect, and I'm just like, I don't know.
There are theories out there that the atomic bombs didn't really exist. There are people out there that say if you look at the test footage, they don't understand how the cameras survived a lot of the atomic tests that take place. The people who would argue that would say, well, they were far enough away out of the blast zone to survive.
Fallout zone and all of that.
But there's people who even say that the atom bombs weren't dropped in Japan; it was a firebomb. Look, I wasn't there, but like I said to you the other day, my grandfather's uncle was there, and I have photos of that landscape that he took. I don't know if that's atomic bomb or not. Something horrible happened over there. But just thinking about that dog head video, plus all the experiments they're doing on the Chernobyl animals, what may or may not be true, and the stuff we're going to get into with the atomic bomb tests, I do feel like, and connecting it to yesterday's thing with the Pentagon and like the disinformation campaign, they're obviously testing and doing a lot of weird experiments, but they also flood the zone with disinformation to scare the enemy and us as well.
I can see that, yeah.
Like any of this stuff could be faked. And I think they've had a lot of AI stuff way before we've been able to have it. But that looks like you can't fake that, right? Can you fake a floating cow? Can
Twister did it.
Do that?
Twister did it like 3 times.
Yeah, that's true. That's early Twister. This is OG Twister.
Yeah, maybe that's where they got the idea from.
Inspiration right there. And we also did talk about, the CIA working with magicians to create illusions. So I always want to keep that in mind when I go through the stuff like this. But they were, in my opinion, definitely blowing up a lot of stuff in the 50s, especially, to test on what happens to people when you blow things up really close to them. So let's pull up that video from Operation Dominic. What is it, 1959? I want to say, because like at that time we're getting word that the Soviets are blowing up stuff, and so we're like, let's just blow up everything. And Dominic was a whole bunch of nuclear explosions, and Operation Fishbowl was a part of that, where they were blowing up these bombs in the sky. And oddly enough, for those who were here yesterday, a lot of this stuff was happening in Nevada, where Area 51 also is, where Lockheed Martin was building all of their weird secret tech. Now, I will say Boeing was delivering a lot of these bombs. I think it was their B-52 bomber doing it back then. Back when Boeing used to build things that didn't fall apart in the air. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm sorry, Boeing.
It's right below the belt right there.
Hey man, the footage of the planes falling out of the sky is ridiculous. I mean, the doors falling off the planes out of the sky is ridiculous. But yeah, I love this footage.
Is this the one? Is this the 1959 explosion test footage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you guys are just joining us, we are talking everything nuclear right now. Nuclear. Sorry, I hate that word. Big welcome to everybody that came over from IRL. Thanks for checking it out. Like, subscribe, follow, share with all your friends. We're going to be here hanging out with you till the wee hours of the morning here on the East Coast. So let's get into this video entitled U.S. Army Atomic Bomb Blast Effects 1959 Atomic Bomb Explosion Test Footage. Here we go.
So it's silent. So for like the first minute and a half, we're seeing soldiers jumping in the foxholes. I believe this is in Nevada, and they're just waiting. I was told by the man I met whose father was a part of Operation Dominic, as one of these soldiers, that they were not allowed to talk about this with their families.
Yeah?
Eventually they did, but it became a problem with the VA because a lot of these people got sick. A lot of these people got really sick, if you can imagine that, having been so close to the blast.
Yeah, I was going to say, how far? Do we have any idea how far out these guys are from that test zone?
There are, you can look up, they're like hidden in declassified documents. There are, they say they're far enough away where it's
did
safe.
they drop it from a plane?
Yes. Yes. I believe a Boeing. So the VA has reports on this too. Like there was an increase in leukemia in a lot of the soldiers who participated in these studies, which then might make you think of things like, we're talking about human experimentations. It might make you think of the Tuskegee experiments, stuff like that. Yeah.
I was like, did they actually physically kill a guy and put him out there? Like, come on, man.
Nothing's above them. So it just exploded in the distance. And they were told to get up and look at it.
You're not supposed to do that without, a welder's glass back then, but okay. That's fair enough.
They were also told that their helmets were enough. But look at that thing. So this is another avenue of the fake clouds. I want people to understand is that this radiation doesn't just disappear. We know that. These clouds, they just stay up there. Like what happens with Fukushima, what happened with Chernobyl, what happened with all of these nuclear testing explosions. This just becomes the atmosphere.
Don't go walking towards the nuclear fallout zone.
Yep.
Yep.
I will say that the gentleman I met whose father was a part of this did not get any weird illness. And I think a lot of that comes down to your genetics and, maybe how far away you were. But there was
whether or not you're a wolf, yeah.
Right. You're from Chernobyl. You're a time traveler because obviously this is before Chernobyl. But this really did cause like a real nuclear panic in the world, obviously, but in America, and I forget the word for it, but there was like a nuclear anxiety over a nuclear holocaust. Look at that fake cloud right there of nuclear waste. Oof. But if you look up there's like a nuclear anxiety workshops you can take to help ease the pain, the fear that people had throughout this time period. And one of the things is basically to be a doomsday prepper. So if you guys out there are prepping for doomsday, you are happier. And a lot of you realize that during COVID, during lockdowns, when that was a bizarre, absurd time when life shut down, you knew the people who were prepared for some insane catastrophe, you were ready.
Oh, this guy taped his ankle up. He's ready.
Yeah, his ankle survived.
You're not going to get me today, radiation.
I don't think there's anything else worthwhile. I think they look at like destruction and whatnot, but they did this so much, and they did this in the ocean. We took over what was it, Bikini Atoll, and I might have sent you some footage of that as well.
Yeah, we have some Bikini Atoll a go footage here.
Yeah, what a great name. So this is when we were doing it in the Pacific. I believe a lot of it happened out there. We took over the island, Bikini Atoll. We kicked out the natives there and said, look, we're bombing this place into oblivion. You got to go. So we kicked them out, and I think you might even see some getting kicked out in this video.
87 ships take positions 3 miles off Bikini to suffer the shattering impact of the 5th atomic bomb. Here will be tested the capacity of modern armament to withstand the crushing shock of compressed water traveling a mile per second. The evacuated ruler of Bikini, King Judah, gets a front row seat at the bomb blast as he arrives aboard the Mount McKinley and is greeted by Admiral Blandy, Joint Task Force 1 Commander.
Admiral Blandy.
The bomb raft for Test Baker is ready. The abandoned ship signal is hoisted, and the scientific staff and crew are checked off.
Yeah, they're going through a whole
Yeah, they'll show you the whole thing, just like the dead dog head.
Waits in almost agonized tenseness. Now but 5 seconds to go.
Look at that
and
thing.
This was detonated in the water?
Yeah. Yep.
So we're looking at a half water, half smoke mushroom cloud.
Yep. Yeah. And they threw out into the ocean our own like decommissioned battleships, but also what I think are Japanese warships that we took in the war to see how they survived.
But look at the perimeter right there. Some of those are our ships with guys on them, are they not?
Those might be the ones that they put out there to be tested.
Yeah.
I think they're empty because I think later in the video you see them board those ships to see how much radiation there is. But still, during this time, this is in other ones, people were lining up to watch them blow it up in the sky in the exo-atmosphere. And so for those who are just joining us, we are going through some atomic footage from the 50s during the Cold War, brought to you here now because we were talking about the Chernobyl incident and the fallout and how it affected animals there. And I was just thinking about how all this affected the people, the soldiers who were forced to watch it up close and personal.